Hey everybody, this is Debbie O'Neill of Scrap Me Quick Designs in the Let's Learn Cricut Explore Facebook group, and I'm continuing my series of lessons on Design Space 3. Today we're going to talk about uploading your images in Design Space, and so let's get started. Here is our virtual mat in Design Space 3, and we're going to come over here to the left-hand panel, and we're going to click down here. The last one is Upload, so we're going to go to Upload. Now you're on your upload screen in Design Space, and you have an option to upload images, which can be either a JPEG, a GIF, a PNG, a BMP, an SVG, or a DXX file. And I'll kind of explain some of those here in a minute. Then you also have an option over here to upload patterns. And you can upload patterns and you can use those when you use the print and cut feature. So we will be working with that. And then here on the bottom is, think of this as your uploaded image library. Okay, these are things you've uploaded. That's what upload means. Those are things that you've uploaded. All right, so if you've never uploaded anything, yours is blank. All right, so you will notice that it's changed a little bit from what we had in DS2. It says recently uploaded images. So that's why you're only seeing a handful of images here. You're not seeing everything that you've uploaded. To do that, you have to click View All next to it in the green. And now you have everything you've uploaded. Okay, so no matter what file type you used, you'll have everything you've uploaded, and you can scroll through and take a look at that. Okay, so now that we kind of understand what's on the screen, let's work with it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go talk about uploaded images. So I'm gonna go Upload Image. And you're going to come to this screen. Now you'll see two options here. The first one says drag and drop file here, and then it says or browse, okay? And then it reminds you these are the file types that you would be able to work with. So PNG, JPEG. A PNG file is a file that's already been flattened. Basically, it is for printing. So when I see PNG, I think of print. It's already ready for me to use, basically, if I wanted to use it for a print and cut file. A JPEG file is normally a photograph. Think of it as that. It's like a photo. A GIF file is it's a different type of file type. I don't usually do a lot of GIF files. And then you have SVGs, which are your layered images, so that then you would cut out each individual layer. That's what an SVG file would do for you. A DXF is a particular kind of file that is used in certain industries, and it's not something the typical crafter is going to be using. And then a BMP file is just another type of file type, okay? So, but in DS3, we have this new feature here that's called drag and drop the file here. So how do you do that? I'm going to change my view here. So all I've done is I've shrunk a Design Space down. So now I have my view of my desktop. Okay. So what I had done was I had downloaded some SVG files to my computer. Then I found a file that I liked, and I took one of those files and I put it on my desktop. I created a shortcut. You can do that by clicking on your SVG file once you have it uploaded and extracted in its folder. And you can then you have the option to make it a shortcut. When you make it a shortcut, it creates a separate image, okay, that then says it's the same file. This one says 50 Santa SVG, and it says shortcut underneath it. This one says Butterfly Design 1, and it says shortcut underneath it. This means that all it did was it made a copy and put it on your desktop. Okay, so it's still in its folder, in its SVG file folder on my computer, but now I have a copy of that same file sitting here on my desktop. So when we talk about drag and drop your file here, you can go to your desktop and drag that image and drop it right into Design Space. Pretty slick, huh? I'm going to expand this now. So that is what the drag and drop feature is, and it's new to Design Space 3. And so now I have, this was an SVG file, and it already had a name because the designer had named it. So it's Butterfly Design 1 Layers Together. And I'm going to say, I'm going to put a tag here. So if I'm looking for a butterfly, it'll be here. You can add as many tags as you want. I'm just going to do that. And then you can then hit save. Now your tags are going to help you when you go to do searches in Design Space and you're searching for images. You can also look for your uploaded images. So you always want to add a tag. That is very helpful. So I'm going to say save down here in the right hand corner now that I have that in. And now you will see that the butterfly is uploaded. Okay, and so you would be able to select the butterfly. Once you click on it, you have that green banding box, which means that that's selected in Design Space 3. That's how you know. And then you do Insert Image, and now it's on your mat, and you can do whatever you're going to do to it to work with it. Okay, so I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to go back to Upload. All right, so that's how you can drag and drop a file into Design Space, and then you can also just upload directly into Design Space. Okay, so let's see, what else do we want to know about this? We're going to go over here to upload a pattern, and uploading a pattern, oh, I'm sorry, we need to upload a SVG image. We're going to upload this was uploading it doing the drag and drop. We're going to upload an SVG image. Sorry about that. So to do that, you're going to click the other option, which is Browse. And then you can come over and find an SVG file. So I have one here that's a girl troll. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on her. She is an SVG file that I purchased from somewhere. And I'm just going to put girl troll. I need to tag her, right? So I'm going to put that. I'm just going to put the word troll. Okay, so then I'm going to say save. And now she's uploaded because she was an SVG file. When I click on her to add her to my mat, I'm going to come over here to Insert Images. And you will see that she is a layered image. Okay, let me make her a little smaller so we can see her on the screen. Okay, so she's a layered image, and I can tell that because I go over here to Design Space in my Layers panel, and each one of these pieces of her are all separate cut files. Okay, so she is a layered image in Design Space. So each one of these, if I hit the Make It Now, would cut out each individual piece, and then you would need to put it together. All right, so that is uploading an SVG file. Now let's go back over to Upload, and we're going to pick a different file type. So I'm going to go into Upload Image, and I'm going to say Browse because I'm going to go to my computer, and let's say I want to upload a JPEG file. Remember, a JPEG is like a photograph. It's not already a layered image, and I'm going to go in and pick that, and then she's going to come up on the screen. And this is fairly complex. Now, how do I determine that? So there's 3 image types that you want to pick when you upload a JPEG image, because it gives you different levels of ability to be able to clean up that file so that it cuts nicely for you. So a simple file would just mean image with high contrast colors and a transparent or monochromatic background. So these already come in pretty cleaned up for you. They don't have a lot of background that you need to get rid of, that kind of thing. Moderately complex means there's simple details in color. It's got some good contrast between the background and the foreground. And then you have complex. Sorry. Complex images have a lot of fine detail on them. Look at her hair up here. Very fine detail on all these little spikes of her hair. Okay. Blended colors. There's a lot of different colors going on here, and low contrast between the background and the foreground. These are a little more challenging to work with. That's why I picked this one. So I'm going to pick complex because I think this is a complex image. Okay, and then you come down here and you pick select, continue. Okay, so now here she is on our screen, and I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller so you guys can see. There we go. And Now what you need to do is I just want to cut her out. I don't want to cut the whole thing out. I just want to cut her out. I don't want to have the background. So you have your magic wand, which is the select and erase up here. So when you do that, then you get this X. See the X moving around here? So I'm just going to start clicking on this, and it's going to start taking away, and it's complex. So you're going to have to kind of do it a little at a time, and then we're going to have to clean up around the edges of this where it doesn't quite grab it. Okay, so you can just keep clicking on it. There's a little down there I'm going to need to clean up. If you make a mistake, you can always go back and undo. There's an undo button over here. See where it says undo to the right up here. And I'm just going to keep clicking all the way around this. I picked a complex one because this is the best way to show you. You would do this for any of the other two options, but this one you're going to have to be a little bit more careful. This is great, like if you have a photograph that you're trying to make into a cut file, you would pick complex because you would need to go in and clean this up. Now, I've selected as much as I thought I could select here, okay? But I want to preview it and see if I gotten everything. So I'm going to do preview. When I do preview, it's going to show me, see, there's all these little pieces around here. Now, everything you see in black is what it's going to cut out around, okay? So we need to clean up all these little teeny tiny pieces on here. And so I'm going to say, hide the preview. We're going back to our file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the zoom, and I'm going to zoom out so I can see this a little bit better, and I can see where it's not quite cleaned up. And as I do that, I can start seeing where you can see the outline here where this yellow is. We're going to have to erase that. Okay, so I want to go over here to my eraser, and the eraser is a circle tool. See it? See, I'm moving it around, and you can make it bigger or smaller. So when you're doing bigger pieces, see how it's changed? When you're doing bigger pieces, then you can certainly make it bigger, but I'm going to be doing some pretty fine pieces, so I'm going to slide this over till it's small, and I can even make it smaller than that if I needed to. Okay, so I've got this little, and it's eraser, and I can come in here and I'll start clicking on where I see, okay, I want to clean this up, so I'm not going to get that jagged edge. I want to make this as smooth as possible. I can hold my my mouse key down and I can pull it around. Let's say I just kind of messed that up there. I can come up here and undo it, and it will bring it back, and then I can start over again. So don't feel intimidated. It does take some practice to do this. And I'm just cleaning up. I want to clean up the edge here. Okay, so that's how you would do that. We're gonna keep cleaning that edge up. I mainly want to make sure I grab all these little yellow flecks that I see on here. It may be hard for y'all to see it on the screen, but they're there. And I want to make sure that I grab them all, because we do not want those cutting out when we cut this out. And if you don't get them, they're going to cut out. And there's no reason to have all these little flex pieces, right? I'm just going to grab this. It's okay if I trim her hair a little bit. That's not going to bother me. I'm just going to do that and just go around here just for expedience sake. I can make this eraser even tinier, and I can go in here and even clean up even more of these little lines where her hair is. Okay, so you can kind of just clean that up until it looks good to you. I'm just going to take that one off. But you can see I'm just kind of playing with it to get the image the way that I want it. And I think I'm going to undo that. I kind of got a little crazy with it. Okay, so I'm going to keep going down here, and I'm going to just continue to clean her up. Okay, there's all these little yellow flecks down here. I want to grab those. There's some here by her ear that I need to get. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I get this cleaned up. Now she's complicated, okay? So depending upon, I'm showing you one that's complicated so you can see that it can be done. And I'm just going to kind of go in here. I want to take some of that out. I need to clean up here around her ear and her hair. Clean up around her ear a little bit. Okay, and then you see these pieces here, these little flecks. You want to get all of those little flecks off of here. And I also want that green to go away. So I'm just going to kind of draw along here. Just kind of take that off. So whatever you erase is not going to cut out. Okay, so I'm just going to go along her arm here. And normally this does not take this long, but I picked an intentional complicated image to show you guys what you would need to do to clean one up, because some of y'all want to do like your own photographs, and those are going to have all these same little pieces that you're going to have to clean up. So it does take a little bit of time to do that. So I'm going to come over here and erase some of these other dots that are around here. Okay, and then there's a couple of big ones down here. Okay, now you can hit preview again. Let me make this smaller so y'all can see her. Okay, so I'm going to hit preview again. Okay, and now she looks pretty cleaned up. There aren't too many things that are really sticking out. There's a little piece over here I need to clean up, but more or less she would cut out fairly smoothly. Okay, so I'm gonna go back, and I know I need to clean up here because I could see that in my preview that I needed to do that. Okay, and I know there was something over here. I don't know where it was. Let me move this back over so I can make sure I grab it. I'm just cleaning along. There was a little speck over here. Okay, so now I feel like I have her cleaned up fairly well, and I'm going to come over here and hit continue. Now, when I hit continue, I'm going to get two options. I can either save her as a print and cut image, which is what I wanted, or I can save it as a cut image. If it's going to be a cut image, it is not going to cut out every feature of her, like her ears and her eyes and her nose and all that. It's only going to cut the outline of her out. So I want this to be a print and cut image, so I'm going to save her as a print and cut. I can come over here to my image name, and I can put in, this is Princess Poppy. Okay, and then I can put, I'm tagging her, Princess Poppy. I can say she's a troll, whatever you want to put as tags if you're looking for it. And you will notice that in Design Space 3, I have this one selected because it has the green outline around it. Okay, so I'm going to be saving this as a print and cut image. So I'm going to come down here to save. And there is Princess Poppy. Okay, so there she is. Now she's a print and cut image. And I can tell that because, one, she was a JPEG file, so there's no layers here. And when I look over here in my layers panel, you see that the little printer icon for print and cut is here. Okay, so anyway, so that is basically how you do your uploading, and a little bit about what you would do for images. All right, and then you would use those same cleanup techniques if you used, you know, any of the JPEG files or so forth. Now we're going to go into upload pattern. In upload pattern, I'm going to browse to patterns, and let me go see where I have some files with patterns in them. I'm in the wrong thing. Go to digital papers. Okay, so let's see, I'm going to go to Magical Adventures. Okay, so I'm on my computer. I'm looking in a file folder for the elements that I need. Okay, so let me see where there are patterns. These are all the elements. Bear with me for a second. I had them in here. Digital papers. Okay, here's one that would be good to do. Okay, so these are individual digital papers that these look like they came from Lori Whitlock. They were part of a set. You can see here that this was a set of papers that I had purchased or as part of a file that I got. And then each one of those papers is its own JPEG image of that pattern. Okay, so you would need to upload each individual pattern. I know that sounds like a pain, but it's worth it when you go to use them. And so I'm just going to upload, let's upload this chevron pattern. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that one. I'm going to say open. And now it's going to be uploaded into Design Space for me. So here's the pattern. And then I would probably put over here that this is a pink, a two-tone pink chevron. Okay, because I'm going to name it. I'm going to name it as a pattern. Then you have a theme choice you can make. So here you can pick what kind of things would I use this for. So it might be good for celebrations or summer. Maybe birthday would be good. It could be something that might be fun for Easter. You can kind of pick what you want, certainly for love. So you can kind of pick whatever themes you want to put it in. All right. Now, then you have styles. You definitely want to pick a style for this. And so you have some choices here. You have juvenile, geometric, vintage, seamless, distressed, stripes, floral, textures, plaids and argyles, contemporary, sophisticated, lace, and polka dots. Now I'm going to put this under geometric because it's a chevron pattern. So I'm going to pick geometric. And then you want to pick what colors it is. Okay. So I'm going to pick that it's pink. And I can also pick that it's multicolor. Okay, so you can pick more than one in each category. So since it's two colors of pink, I'm going to pick multicolor and I pick just pink. All right, so then I'm going to say save. And that'll take a second. Okay, then it comes up and it lets you know pattern upload was successful. See up here at the top where my cursor is moving? Pattern upload successful. Your pattern fill was successfully uploaded. It can now be found in the Layer Attributes panel under Print, then Patterns. So let's go find it. Let's go see where this is. So I'm going to come over here to Images. Actually, I'm going to come over to New. I'm going to do replace. Okay, so I'm going to come, now that I'm back on my mat, I'm going to show you, so I'm going to go into images and I'm going to pick an image and let's say I'm just going to pick this box, okay, and I'm going to put that on my mat. Now, this is a print then cut image here, but let's say that I wanted, I'm going to make this smaller so you guys can see when it goes to the printer it's going to work right. Okay, so this is a print then cut image. Now, I mean, this is a cut file. See over here, this is going to draw the lines and then it's going to cut out the shape. So this is your score tool and this is where the shape is. Now, this is to be made to cut out of a piece of cardstock because it's a cut file, all right? But let's say that I wanted to change this. Let me pick the layers. I gotta pick this. Okay, so let's say I wanted to change this to a print file. Okay, so I'm going to change it to printer. All right, so when I change it to printer, it has now flattened this, so it's no longer going to cut out of a piece of cardstock. It would need to be printed on your printer to use it, and I could change the colors of it here if I wanted, so I can make it, you know, various colors, and it would print out in that color. But I wanted to show you the patterns that we just uploaded. So here's where you pick it as a color, and now it's a print and cut file. You can see over here with the little printer icon. But up here you have choices. So this is the coloring, which we're just doing, moving this around, changing it into different colors. Okay, but I can come over here to patterns. And when I pick patterns, they're going to be all these different choices for me. Okay, and I can scroll through and see patterns. You'll notice that they say uploaded, or they'll say subscribe. These are just all ones that I've uploaded recently. Here is, you can go into filters. Down here is kind of your menu for these. You can pick a collection by the themes. So if, you know, earlier when we added that pattern, we picked some themes that it might fit into. So let's say one of the themes I picked was Easter. It would come up and it'll show me everything that I've labeled as Easter, okay, when I uploaded the pattern. Okay, so it'll show all of those. Then it can also, I can go over here to filters, and I can pick anything that's uploaded. I can pick my patterns. I can pick if it's free, like Cricut's already given us some to use, and then if it's part of Cricut Access, because some of our image sets that we have in Cricut Access have their own patterns. Okay, but you can, so I'm going to go into upload, because we know I'm looking for one that I uploaded, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to pick pink. Okay, and then it's going to sort through and let me know which ones have been uploaded that got categorized as pink. And there is my chevron. Okay, so I can change that. I can click on that and give it a second, and then it's going to change my pattern for this whole image over here is now going to be chevron. And it'll take a second to do that. Normally doesn't take this long, sorry. It could be that my recording software is slowing it down too in Design Space, so we'll give it a second. Okay, there we go. So it changed the entire pattern to the chevron, okay? But I could go in, I could change this to anything. So here's another pattern. I could just click on that pattern, and it's going to change it to that pattern. This is really fun, and you can do it not only just on individual pieces, but on one whole piece. You can do it on individual pieces, and I'll show you that in another video when I go over more using the patterns. But that's how you upload them. So this video was all about uploading. So that's how you get them in there, and then once you get it in, that's how you would find it. So it's under patterns when you go into using a print and cut image. Okay, so I hope you guys found that useful, and I hope you will get in and play around with uploading images. It's a lot of fun, and let me know if you have any questions, and come back for lesson 7, where we're going to be doing a print and cut review. Talk to you later. Bye. Come join us over at the Let's Learn Cricut Explore Facebook group, where we have a lot of fun learning how to use and share with our Cricut Explorer.